Hi, I'm David Freudberg, host of Humankind, and I love my work, the opportunity to talk with remarkably enlightened people about things that really matter to all of us. And honestly, the most fun I have is when I hear from listeners I've never met, often from places I've never visited, who've been touched by our Humankind program. The grants we get from the funders you hear named on our program simply don't cover all our expenses. And if you like what you hear, we're asking for your help so we can keep the program and this podcast going. Please visit humanmedia.org, and at the top of the homepage, click on How You Can Help. Thanks. Humankind is produced in association with WGBH Boston and supported by the Humankind Program Fund. Additional funding for this series has been provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the National Institutes of Health, the Annie E. Casey Foundation, and the Park Foundation.
Compassion is something that can be born from our understanding. And the way to do it is to learn how to look deeply in order to really understand.
A soft-spoken Vietnamese monk who was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize tries to cool the fires of global conflict. You're listening to Humankind. I'm David Freudberg. Removed from the bustle and the battlefields of the world is a quiet Buddhist meditation center in rural South Woodstock, Vermont, called Maple Forest Monastery. This is where the Vietnamese-born Zen master named Thich Nhat Hanh often stays when he visits the United States to give peace lectures and conduct retreats. As I approach the monastery building set on a steeply sloping hill in the woods, I'm about to be ushered into a realm that is set apart from the life most of us lead.
Nghe chuông phiền não tan mây khói, lặng thân an miệng mỉm cười.
Listening to the bell among chants, I feel all my afflictions dissolve. My mind is calm, my body relaxed. In the garden of my heart, the flowers of peace bloom beautifully. It is to this internal garden that 75-year-old Thich Nhat Hanh keeps returning, a habit he developed as a young monk in war-torn Vietnam. There he worked continuously for reconciliation between North and South and led the Buddhist delegation at the Paris peace talks. He established relief organizations to rebuild villages destroyed by war and founded a volunteer corps for youth. Committed to nonviolence, he endured the slaughter of many of his disciples and eventually, at age 40, exile from his homeland.
When you see two brothers fighting each other and you want them to stop fighting, you say something and you do something, and both of them are against you because what they want is to continue fighting and not reconciliation. That is... It is as simple as that. They don't know that they need the most. What they need the most is peace and reconciliation. But the anger in them is so strong. The will to fight in them is so strong. So that hide away, that cover up their deepest desire is to live in peace.
They forget their need to live in peace?
Yeah. Because the anger is so much overwhelming. It's so overwhelming. And they only think of fighting, retaliating. They think that is what they need. but they forget that the deepest need is to be living in peace and harmony and reconciliation also.
A slight, slender man with shaved head, Thich Nhat Hanh is known to everyone simply as Thai, which means teacher. The late Catholic theologian Thomas Merton called him more my brother than many who are nearer to me in race and nationality, because he and I see things the exact same way. In 1967, Thai was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize by the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., who called him a holy man. A prolific poet and author, Thich Nhat Hanh's gentle words are marked by a beautiful simplicity. He urges listeners to maintain a practice of living quietly and looking deeply. How do you feel as a voice seeking peace when your voice is drowned out by the bombs and the shouting of those waging war?
There is a belief that the seed of peace is there in everyone.
The seed of peace.
The seed of peace. The desire for peace is there deep in everyone. And if you are able to touch the seed and help it to sprout, and then there will be a chance.
So how does one touch that seed in someone who's covered over by anger and vengeance?
I think the true presence of someone who has peace inside and who can look with compassionate eyes, who can speak with compassionate voice, who can be peaceful, that is the basic thing. When you are around someone like that, you have a chance to touch the peace within yourself. It's not by arguing that you can do so, but by being peace, you can help the other person touch the peace within himself or herself.
You have written that for a person to have a dialogue with someone else, they must first have a dialogue with themselves.
Right.
How does a person engage himself or herself in a dialogue like that?
There is suffering, there is conflict inside ourselves. And if we are too busy, we have no chance in order to go back to ourselves and realize what is going on within our body, our feelings, our emotions, our thinking.
We just get distracted.
Yeah, and we just get carried away by events. So to have a chance to go back to yourself and to know what is going on inside, in your body, your feelings, your emotions, in order to have a chance to restore harmony, calm, or peace within oneself is very important. You cannot reconcile with someone else before you reconcile with yourself. How do you treat your body? How do you treat your emotions, your feelings? You need to learn how to treat your body with peace, with tenderness. You need to learn how to treat your feelings, your emotions with peace and tenderness. And then when peace is there within you, you will have the capacity of treating another person with tenderness and peace, and reconciliation will become possible. If you fail with yourself, how can you succeed with another person? I think that is true with a community or a nation. If that community cannot realize peace within herself, if that nation cannot realize peace and harmony within herself, and then making peace with another group of people or another nation, it would be very difficult.
First, get one's own house in order.
Right.
During the sorrowful years of the war in Vietnam, Thich Nhat Hanh's work as a Buddhist monk included caring for the wounded and burying the dead. Death, he wrote, was always close to me. The experience taught him that everything in this world is impermanent and that we're only granted a day at a time.
Impermanence tell you that you should live deeply every moment of your daily life. You live in such a way that can bring you satisfaction in terms of peace, love, brotherhood. What we can do today in order to make another person suffer less, to make another person happy, you should do it right now, because tomorrow may be too late. The awareness of impermanence is very important. You might believe that the other person can be there for a long time, but the fact is that she may die tonight or tomorrow, and therefore whatever you can do to make her happy tonight, before she dies, that is very important. The blue sky, for instance, if you do not have a chance to look at it now, when it is available, and then it may be too late tonight because you might die tonight. That is why the awareness of impermanence helps you to get in touch deeply with the wonders of life that are available in the here and the now.
Thich Nhat Hanh uses age-old tools in the daily practice of his spiritual journey. Instead of jumbling the mind with a multiplicity of thoughts and worries, he suggests paying careful attention to what one is directly experiencing. Notice your breath. Walk deliberately and slowly. Savor your meal in silence. The reward for these disciplines, he says, is a calmer, happier frame of mind, even in the face of adversity.
Peace is always there to some extent. And if you know how to practice, and then you can always be in touch with peace to some degree for your nourishment and healing. And then you'll be strong enough in order to deal with the opposite side, the negative side. Suppose there are a few trees dying in your garden.
If your tree is dying in the garden.
You know that is something you have. There's something you have to do in order to improve the situation. But you should know that there are other trees that are still vigorous, beautiful. So to be aware of the positive aspects of life is very important, so that you can be nourished and strong enough to be able to deal with what is not right in the present moment.
And even when the bombs are falling and the fear of war is around you, are you able to contact that peace that you say is always there?
Right. It's like a doctor. When patients come to him or her and cry and suffer a lot, the doctor should be calm. The suffering is there, but the doctor is capable of keeping calm in order to help. So you should have some kind of peace and serenity within yourself in order to handle well the situation of war. Otherwise, you will make the situation worse. And that is a secret of practice. You have to cultivate peace in yourself so that you can be calm when you face a difficult situation.
And what kinds of steps can we take in our personal lives to become more available to that potential that is always there?
The first step is to stop running. We keep running to the future. We believe that happiness may be possible in the future. And that is why we sacrifice the present moment, which is the moment where the kingdom of God is available. So stopping is very important. It is a a real practice. We have been running all our life. And that is because we believe that happiness is not possible in the present moment. There are many ways of practicing stopping. Like when you begin to breathe in and stop all your thinking and begin to establish yourself in the present moment. When you are capable of establishing yourself in the present moment, you are able to get in touch with the blue sky, the snow, the beautiful trees, the song of the birds, and all of them belong to the kingdom of God. If you continue to run, how can you get in touch? So stopping is very important. The practice of walking meditation is to touch the kingdom of God with every step you make. The practice of mindful breathing is to touch the kingdom of God with every in-breath and out-breath.
Lắng lòng nghe, lắng lòng nghe tiếng chuông huyền diệu đưa về nhất tâm.
You've done a lot of work with refugees, including the boat people who fled harsh conditions in Vietnam. How does one help refugees heal the pain in their lives?
Well, it looks like all of us are refugees. All of us are seeking a refuge. Every one of us aspires to go to a place where there is safety, where is love, and therefore we are all refugees. We are all seeking for a refuge, and not only the boat people, the people who are running away from a situation of fighting, they are refugees. But all of us are refugees. We want stability. We want safety. We want love. And according to the teaching and the practice I have received, it is possible to create refuge for us, for ourselves, and for the people we love. Solidity, compassion, understanding is something that we can cultivate. It is an island where we can come and take refuge. One person can be a refuge if that person has enough understanding, enough peace within himself or herself. When you have that, other people like to come and to sit close to you, and the children also. And if we bring people like that together, we have a community. In Buddhism we call it Sangha. You have a community. And community is a good refuge. And taking refuge in a community of love, of harmony is very important. And to me, the most noble task of men and women in our time is to build communities. Because many people feel that they are lost. They want to take refuge. They want to have a refuge. And a community practicing harmony, brotherhood, understanding, and compassion is what the people of our time need the most.
Thich Nhat Hanh has founded several communities attempting to follow these ideals. At Plum Village, the meditation center in southwestern France, where he lives most of the time, residents sign a peace treaty in a public ceremony, pledging to settle differences promptly instead of allowing grudges to fester. Nhat Hanh believes such simple communication is a powerful tool in preventing conflict, because warfare invariably stems from misunderstanding, what he calls wrong perceptions.
The people who who use airplanes in order to destroy the World Trade Center. They may think of the act is an act of justice. They may think that the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, is the symbol of imperialism. They may have the idea that America is trying to destroy Islam as a religion, to destroy them as a people. And these are wrong perceptions. And because of these wrong perceptions, they have acted in that way. And if an intelligent kind of answer is to help them to remove the wrong perceptions in them, and that cannot be done by airplanes and bombs. That can be done by intelligence and compassion. In order to help them to remove the wrong perceptions, you have to be patient. You have to use your intelligence and compassion. You cannot use bombs and tanks and airplanes. This is very clear.
But so many people, of course, will respond that the danger posed by a terrorist who would hijack an airplane, crash it into a skyscraper, kill thousands of people, cannot be adequately rebuffed merely by compassion.
Because they do not know how to think deeply and in long terms. You know that everyone is responsible to some extent for what have happened. Not only the terrorists, but all of us. We have contributed in making the wrong perceptions. We have lived in such a way that make people misunderstand us. We have said things, we have done things in order to give them the impression that we have been trying to destroy them as a people, as a religion. We have done and we have lived in such a way that they believe that they are victims of our discrimination and hatred. And that is why we cannot say that they are the only people who are responsible for the suffering. But we have to look back into our situation. In the United States of America, many people believe that they are victims of discrimination, injustice. And we have not even tried to listen to their voice, to their suffering. And that is why my proposal is that the United States of America organize sessions of listening, deep listening, compassionate listening, and invite representatives of those people in the country who believe that they are victims of injustice and discrimination to come and to express themselves.
Should we do that in our living rooms?
Yeah, it should be organized not politically. If it is organized by politicians, and then people will think that this kind of manipulation or something. I think there are many people who can organize that these sessions of deep and compassionate listening. There are many intelligent and compassionate people in America. They can come together and organize these sessions of deep and compassionate listening and invite those people who believe that they have been victims of injustice and discrimination. And then we have to create a kind of environment where people have the courage to speak out, because they are afraid also. We have to assure them that we really want to listen to them and understand the suffering of our country or our people. And these sessions can be televised to the whole nation to follow the practice of meditation, of deep listening, of looking deeply into the suffering of our nation. And if America can do that, she will inspire a lot of confidence in the world. America is now capable of listening to the suffering of her own people. See, that is what we have to see. We have to do, because we already agree with each other that peace must always begin with us. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to deal with ourselves tenderly, nicely, peacefully, before we can do the same thing with another person. So America making peace within herself by the practice of deep listening and loving speech. It's very important to really understand the suffering within the country.
Thich Nhat Hanh believes in the power of empathy and compassion to change people's hearts, even the hardened hearts of those who've been blinded by fear and by rage. Instead of attacking those who would threaten us, he looks for nonviolent solutions.
You can say things like this. We know that you also want safety. We want safety, but we know that you want to live in safety also, and we know that we won't have safety unless you too have safety. So, is there anything we can do in order to help you to live more in safety? You can say things like that. We must helping each other rather than punishing each other. So that kind of language will move the heart of people. And you know that America can play the role of a big sister or a big brother to other nations. To build brotherhood, to build safety for other people is to secure our own safety. And this is not something difficult to understand, you see. So we need politicians who can act with the spirit of humanism, that can see that everyone is a brother and sister to each other, that safety is not an individual matter, that if they don't have safety, we won't have safety. And that is why instead of fighting each other, punishing each other, we should come together in order to work it out so that both sides will profit. And this is something possible. And the practice of deep listening, compassionate listening, and using loving speech is a very crucial. And this can be cultivated. First of all, you get to be calm enough, to calm down, calm yourself down with the practice of mindful breathing, mindful walking. And when you are calm enough, you begin to start a dialogue using deep listening, loving speech.
Vietnamese-born Zen Buddhist master Thich Nhat Hanh, speaking from Maple Forest Monastery in South Woodstock, Vermont. You're listening to Humankind. I'm David Freudberg. Our program is presented by Human Media in association with the Network Incorporated. Studio recording by Bill Wangerin. Editorial assistance from Francis McGovern. Special thanks to Art Cohen and Maple Forest Monastery. Program development and support provided by Shart Media.
To purchase a CD copy of this program, please call 1-800-5-LISTEN. That's 1-800-5-LISTEN. Or visit our website, where you can also obtain an audio download of this and our other programs and can hear selected episodes free. You can access free written materials related to this program as well. Our web address is humanmedia.org. That's humanmedia.org. Again, if you'd like to purchase a CD copy of Humankind by phone, please call 1-800-5-LISTEN, and our web address is humanmedia.org.
This segment with Thich Nhat Hanh is Humankind program number 55.
The executive producer is David Freudberg. This is Humankind.
To hear more episodes of Humankind, you can subscribe to our free podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or your preferred podcast player. A new episode each week. The podcast title is Humankind on Public Radio. And if you enjoy this program, be sure to leave us a kind review at iTunes and Stitcher. If you want to support the program, please visit humanmedia.org. And at the top of the homepage, click on How You Can Help. Again, our web address is humanmedia.org. Thanks.